Hey guys, welcome back. In this advanced tutorial, we are going to learn how to make our Django application reusable. If you haven't seen the previous episodes, you can find them linked up here. Today we're going to learn how to make our app reusable, why reusability is important, and how we can package our app. Let's get right into it. We finished building our polls app and it works properly. But we may want to use that polls app in the future in other applications, and therefore we can ensure that we can reuse the code that we wrote. And for that we can turn our application into a Python package. And to get an overview of the different available Python packages, we can head over to the Python package index. And here we can see various projects. So we can search for them and we can also get an overview of the trending projects, for instance. There's also a dedicated site for Django packages. And here we can add additional packages and access what other users have worked on and provide to us. Let's have a look again at the structure of our Django project that we have written. So here we have the My Site project. Then we created the polls app and also the templates directory. And we could package the polls application here to reuse it in other Django projects if we want to, for example, use that polls functionality there. Now to build our package, we are going to use setuptools, which is available on the PyPy website. And we are also going to use pip, a package manager, to easily install packages we are going to use. There are different ways to install the pip package manager. An easy way to do that is to download the script from this website here and then open a terminal or command prompt and type out python get pip.py. I already installed pip, so I'm straight going to continue with installing setuptools. For that I'm going to open up the terminal and type out python3-m pip install setuptools. And if you haven't installed setuptools yet, this is going to install the package. Next, we want to package our app, meaning we are going to turn it into a specific format that can be easily installed and used. So for instance, Django itself is also a package. So for a small app like the one we wrote, that's not too difficult. We're going to navigate outside of our Django project. And here we can create a new folder. Let's just call it Django polls. And it's a good convention to use Django in front of our package name, because others looking for specific packages can directly see that this is a Django package. Now after that we can take our polls app that we wrote, which is inside of our Django project, and we can drag and drop it into our new folder that we created outside of our Django project. Now after that we're going to add a README file, which includes some installation instructions. So inside of the README file we are going to add a brief summary of what our app actually does, and we add some quick start guides to properly install this package. Typically, we would also add a license file to our Django polls directory in order to release it publicly so that other users can use it as well. This is a little bit out of the scope of this video, so we're going to skip that step, but typically you would select a suitable license. For example, the BSD license is one frequently used for Django compatible apps. Next, we need to create 3 additional files, which is a pyproject.toml file, a setup.cfg file and a setup.py file. And these files outline how to build and install the app. You can find a link on what to include in those files in the description down below, but just to give a quick overview, in the pyproject.toml file we're going to add some requirements that are necessary. Our setup file here includes some general information like the version number and the description of the project. And our setup.py file includes some basic Python code to actually set up our Django project. Now by default, only Python modules and packages are included in the package by default, so we need to provide some instructions to also include the other files, such as our README file. And for that we're going to create a manifest file, and here we're saying we're going to include our README file, we're also going to include a license file if we created it, and we're going to include the content of our directories. So inside of our polls app, we're going to include the static folder and also the templates folder. It's also best practice to include a docs folder with any documentation that we want to use. So we can create this folder here, and then we need to make sure that we also include it in our manifest file. So here we are also adding a new line, recursive include docs, and we're going to include everything inside of the docs directory. Now after that we can start building our package. For that we need to make sure that we are inside of our Django polls directory, and then we can type in python3 setup.py as dist and press enter, and this should create a directory called dist, which we can see over here. And if we have a look inside of that directory, we can see that this includes our new package that we could now distribute. Now, since we previously moved out our Poles directory outside of our Django project is no longer working. So let's see how we can install our Django Poles package in order to use it with this Django project. And of course, we would follow the same steps if we want to use the app in future projects that we're working on. Now, to install our package, we are going to use pip. So here we're going to type out python 3-m pip install user. We are going to perform a user installation, and then we are providing the path to our packaged app. And once we execute that command, it's going to process our file. Now, after installing our package, let's check if our application still works properly. For that, we navigate to our Django folder again, and then we execute python 3 manage py run server. And once we install the server and we navigate over to Poles, we can see that our app loads properly. So we were able to package our application and then install our own package. Now, if we wanted to share our project with other users, we could navigate over to the Python package index page. And if we scroll down to the very bottom, we can find instruction on how we can upload our own packages and therefore publish it and share it on the internet. And these are the steps we can take in order to package our Python app and reuse it in other projects. This is the end of this Django series. If you liked it, please leave a like down below and feel free to subscribe to the channel. See you guys in the next video.